Hey everybody, it is me, Ramon Sawaya, aka Pacific. We've done a name change, we've done some deep introspection, we've done a lot of stuff since I ended my last channel, Pacific Ocean Asia. I thought long and hard. I had many people advise me to do this, many people to advise me to do that. It was time for me to come forward and speak up. And I'll tell you why. Number one, I'm an honest man. Number two, I will not back down from my convictions. Number three, people can threaten to bully, people can bully, but that's not a reason for us to be silenced, interfere, and back into a corner. I have made a commitment, not to mention IDs, but I'm going to mention two. I'm going to mention Legatus, and I'm going to mention Maharani. Legatus did a video called To Pacific, I Win. He didn't win. Before he posted that video, I shut down my channel, deleted every video I had, and removed it. I have no record of them. Some of you viewers have uploaded them. I appreciate that. Others did it to cause me trouble. Others did it to be a fan appreciating group of people of me. Thank you for that. I want to put to rest a couple things that were brought up in the video by Legatus, and I also want to put the spotlight right where it belongs on Maharani. Since Maharani wanted attention, since Maharani wanted single-handedly to shut my channel down as well as Legatus, I agree with Legatus on one thing, that Maharani is directly responsible for him getting a fair toehold of personal information about myself. Addresses, relatives, stuff like that. And I had to learn, did I do something wrong by being honest on the internet? The answer is no. When you're dealing with people who have ulterior motives, and you have people with, what's the word I'm looking for? Disturbed. They can take that, and they can cause problems. I want to make a couple things clear in this video, and I hope to clear it up for my viewers. You might ask, are you back? Yes, but not as specific. Some of the things I've learned. I listened to a lot of the feedback. I watched the volleyball match on Legatus' channel. I watched it very closely. I will not apologize for my views against atheist belief that there is no God. I will not apologize in my views that I believe homosexuality is a sin. I will not apologize in my views on American women and a plethora of issues I talked about. These are things that I believe. What people who watch my channel don't know, that don't know me personally, is when I try to deal with people and when I try to deal with my channel, that I speak very hard things on my channel, but in real life I do try to get to know a person, to be kind and compassionate, and then when I find that they're trouble upon trouble upon trouble, then I finally say, hey, you know what? Get away from me. The way I talk on this channel, I don't walk into every forum and say, hey, you know what? I have to have an inroad. I have to have a relationship with that individual. If people want to openly debate me, I will debate them. If people want to bring up the subject of Christianity, agnosticism, atheism, evolution, and they want to bring it to me, I'm going to talk about it. Let me say from the outset, I am not here to threaten anybody. So if people want to take my words as a threat, you're wrong. Pacific doesn't get revenge. Pacific is not, how do I say this? Pacific is not vitriolic. Though I was annoyed at the braggadocio that took place with Legatus and his video and his ensuing comments, that when I saw him on video and I saw his comments, my first thought was, this was the guy talking tough. And then I see him and I go, you got to be kidding me. That's all I'm going to say on that. He looks like, sounds like a soft-spoken, mellow individual. But then when you see his profanity, his threats, sending messages to fans, sending people threatening to do this and that, I just go, you got to be kidding me. People begging me to come back, people asking me to come back, and for all intents and purposes, I thought, you know what, I'm done with this. A couple things I've learned. Don't give attention to people that want it so bad. I made a big mistake in doing that. And people may think, well, you've just opened up a can of worms. Could be. But here's the difference. Threats were made at me in Legatus's video. Threats to contact the people of the house here. I've already told them what has gone on. They are well aware of what has gone on. And as far as me making comments about them, did not. That is a lie. That is a lie perpetrated by Maharani. Maharani, when she used to talk to me on Skype, we would try to have a private conversation, and they would come in and I would be looking because I'm like, hold on, Many times I come in here to have private Skype conversations. Many times Maharani, using the internet that her parents paid for, and I'm going to say some very specific things on this video that my viewers need to know about Maharani. Maharani is 24 years old, attends La Trobe University. She has used the internet at La Trobe University, which resulted in connection with her and Legatus collaborating together in death threats against a minor son, my ex-wife, and myself. Legatus had a video that was pulled on YouTube showing gravestones with our names and one of the viewers. It was pulled. When Legatus talks on his videos, he's talking as if though he's some lord of the underworld, mocking my God, mocking my belief system, saying that when he heard about me posting pictures of topless women on Tumblr, that was more than he could bear. My thoughts were, since when did you become the great moral arbitrator of the internet? When you are cussing, making death threats, posting public information about people, which, by the way, is illegal in the United States and can be prosecuted in a court of law, but since you're in Hong Kong, you know you're safe. I told the people of the house what has gone on, that I had pulled the channel. The comment was made, you're going to let somebody silence you because he's being a bully? I thought long and hard about it. And I talked to people that were very close to me, many, right here. Talked to coworkers, talked to friends. Maharani knew enough about my information, my first, middle, and last name, the name of my ex, the name of my son. She knew the address here. That wasn't real hard for Legatus to start doing some searches and make a dox. No brainer there. Once all the pieces came together, I'm like, that's what's going on. Maharani is and was fine piece. The only thing I don't know is how she made the video, taking images from the Tumblr and putting them all together, and I thought, she must have had collaboration with somebody else who used her channel, sent it to her, and she uploaded it. Just my thought. But I could be wrong. The other thought, that went through my mind is that Legatus had an interest in Maharani, had seen her photo on one of my videos and thought she's cute. Decided, hey, if I can get her away from Pacific, there's a feather in my cap. These are just speculations. It is my opinion, based on the behavior of Maharani, that she possibly lifted her shirt for him, got close to him, and then suddenly pulled away. He got mad and decided, oh, I'm going to get you. That's one thought. And the reason why I say that is what the viewers don't know is that Maharani, on her own accord, sent me pictures of herself naked like this. Fact. That she had several hundred emails to me, several, I'd say at least 100 hours of Skype conversations over the course of a year, detailing explicit stuff that she liked, that she wanted to see me do with others. One of the people that made a smart remark was a woman from Yugoslavia who works for the court, who used to talk to me, who had been romantically involved via the internet through one of my viewers from well over a year ago, and they had a falling out. This woman from Yugoslavia admitted to sending pictures of herself through the internet to women because she said that pretty lesbians, aroused her. Okay, before I make a judgment here, Pacific has had a conversation with people that had only thing that had to do with my channels. They were viewers of my channel that got to know me personally. There were quite a few of these people that we had emails, phone conversations, Skype conversations. And it was funny to watch that when the crap came down, when Legatus was riding on his big horse, and the people who hate me anyway and were watching video after video came out, it was very interesting. They felt like they had had a victory cry and were planting their banner on the top of their little Everest. I shook my head and thought, you've got to be kidding. Now, who's got the ego here, me or them? There were many people in there. And we're not going to mention who they were. Two people going back and forth that are on Sane Man's channel, going back and forth and now attacking him after they spent tons of time attacking me. One of them was in my Facebook when I had it. We live in a society where people, instead of just disagreeing with somebody and saying, okay, I don't agree with this guy, he's yuts, moving on, we have disturbed individuals who want to take it to the next level. Pizza deliveries to the house. Pizza deliveries in his name and my name where we're supposed to pay. We let the pizza shops know this is a gag. Stop. Stuff was sent in the mail. Craigslist ads were posted. And it was ridiculous. And the reason that Legatus kept doing this is because he's in Hong Kong. Why he stooped to that, I don't know. Why he got so butthurt over me being an icon out there, expressing my views, whether he agreed with them or not. What I don't understand is why he just couldn't move on. That if he is a finance in Hong Kong, why is he wasting his time with this? And I'll tell you exactly why. Because he didn't like the things that I had to say. And it wasn't because I was judgmental as much as he was convicted of some of the things that I said that got to him. I've lived long enough to see that when somebody throws a fiery dart, you can always tell who it hits by who's making the most noise. Legatus, you didn't win. Winning is not harassing and bullying and doing what you do. You think I want to go to war with you? I don't. But you wanted to keep it up and keep it up. And you fed off of Maharani and the information she supplied you. Now, whether you two had a tryst online or interested in each other, I don't know. I don't want to make that accusation. But that was made to me by many other people. Said, how do you know that she wasn't doing to him what she had done to you? And I said, I don't. But since Maharani wants to write in the wings under other sock puppet accounts saying that Pacific talked about the people he lived with, and I wonder if they know he's using their internet. Yes, they know I'm using their internet. I do a huge volume of work here. They know I have my views that may or may not agree with theirs. They know that. They also know that people got stooped to very low behavior, and I mentioned to him Legatus and Maharani, and both of them. For two people to try to cause trouble to come to the house with two elderly people ought to be a red flag to any of my viewers, even the ones that hate me. Why would you do that? Why? I would never post Maharani's address to anybody. And believe me, I'm very offended at what she did. Not because anything she said was true, but because she did classic editing. Pacific is a sensual heretic. She even wrote comment after comment. Better warn that woman that he's seeing before she moves out west that Pacific likes bisexual women. We're going to get into a minute of the things Maharani said to me, directly written, that I can copy and paste. And trust me, I have and still have opportunity to put a whole blog on the very site that she put her butthurt whiny blog, saying about how I didn't care about her, how so easy to move on, that American bastard, I should have known he was divorced, blah, 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 blah. Let me tell you exactly what happened. Last email that she sent to me was dated June 15th of this year. I miss you so much. I love you so much. My mother has ordered me to go to counseling. I cannot bear the thought of losing you, blah, blah, blah. Boom. No more. I wrote her via Skype. I wrote her via that. Nothing. 2 weeks later, Find Peace shows up. And my first thought is Find Peace is a man. And I kept saying, show yourself, show yourself. And that Find Peace kept saying, oh, see, wants to show him. Yeah. Now I know why she didn't want to show herself. Then she set herself up for the kill. Please post a video holding up a note that says, Find Peace, so that I know you're genuine. And I won't reveal who you are. Now, what happened from that point, how her and Legatus got connected, I have no idea. So I'm going to avoid speculation. At this point, I don't care. Let's talk about the things Maharani did say in writing and in verbal to me using her father's internet. But let's back up. Let me tell my viewers that I had a very strong interest in Maharani, that I felt that I loved her. I did. But being older and being that I'd gone through this once before in Hong Kong, tried to visa immigrate to a failing romance, and that did not go through. I had an attorney in Washington, an immigration attorney working on it, and they weren't buying it. You see, the girl that I was interested in Hong Kong had tried to get to the U.S. before in the 90s. She didn't tell me why she was rejected. An American couple who wanted her to work for them in Texas tried to sponsor her, and they shut it down. Immigration said no. So when it got to my turn, they wanted me to submit more and more documents of proof of the relationship. Problem was, when I wrote her, we had tons of email activity. I didn't keep them. No one told me you had to submit that to the INS. I deleted all of those emails. Then they wanted proof that I bought the plane tickets. I did. I had all the statements. I had everything. 9 months had gone by, and they normally take 6 months. And my attorney said, this isn't looking good. I had cases that had far less evidence and proof of a relationship than yours, and they went through in 5 to 6 months. She then told me she was going to charge $300 an hour to continue to work on the case. At the same time, the woman that I was interested in was getting on Skype and being very rude to me every night. Why aren't you home? How come you're not here? I live in Washington. It snowed. I was late on routes. I got home. I had to shovel the driveway of the lady that I'm renting from, and then I had to cook my dinner. And viewers, before my own eyes, I realized this romance is going nowhere. I made a call to my uncle and said, Uncle, I need to talk to you. I laid down all the facts, and he said, this thing was doomed from the start. And because it was doomed from the start, I think you'd be spending a whole lot of money, because if you get her over here, you know she's going to run off to her friend in Florida. I think you ought to just pull out, end it, and walk away from this. I made one last ditch to go to Hong Kong for 5 months to see if we could salvage it. I wasn't there 3 days, and it blew apart in single fashion. I'm not going to cover that ground again. So when I met Maharani because she left comment after comment on my videos. I did not know she was 23 at the time. Maharani was very mature in her comment. So I wrote her. I was impressed with that. I thought she was a woman in her 40s from the Philippines. I didn't know she was so young. We wrote back and forth. We developed an interest in each other. Nothing wrong there. Both of us shared very personal stuff about ourselves. And I have to make a decision as to how much I reveal to you, the viewers. And I'm not going to lower myself to make myself look good and trash this woman. What I am going to say is she told me a lot of personal stuff about her family members. The kind of stuff that if they knew she had told me, they would be very, very upset. That if the dean of La Trobe University knew that she was using the internet to seduce an older man, was using the internet to send nude pictures of herself to an older man, was using the internet then to contact Legatus and be part of threats made involving a minor, and to listen to Legatus's words, I was horrified at what seemed like a huge hypocrisy in him. That he was quick to find the flaws in me, which there are many there, that we're not going to argue that. My whole channel was not about perfection. My channel was about me talking as life unfolded. Some people say, oh, you're so judgmental, you're so terrible, you're so harsh. I have 3,256 viewers. Subscribers, I'm sorry. I think that's pretty dang good. People wrote, he's such a egotistical pig. He's a narcissist. I thought, look at who's saying this. People that are getting attention for themselves. Legatus being very full of ego, writing in Game Boy speak of the gods are very happy with the complete sacrifice. On and on this stuff goes. That even when I shut down the channel, do you think he quits? Nope. He's written others. If Pacific comes back, I will burn his skin, and on it goes. Really? I'm not going to make threats, Legatus. One, because I believe in doing something I can do. The only thing I can say to you is I don't know what your job is. I don't know if you answer a phone. I don't know if you're the janitor in a finance office. I don't know what you do. I do know you go to the Philippines because somebody saw some of your video / pictures or something of you in the Philippines. And I do know the following things about you. You are atheist to the core. Very anti-Christianity and even find peace. Maharani, who consorted with you, accused you of all of that. But she had her fun in the sun using you as the engine to harass me, which she had no problem with that whatsoever. And then she was quick to add a caveat. I in no way support this thing against Pacific on the ED page. Too late, rabbit. You've been skinned alive. Rabbits are her favorite animal. So when Legatus said, you better run, you skinned rabbit, or I'll skin you or something, I thought, he must know she likes rabbits too. What bothers me is I started dating a black woman. I told her I was dating the black woman. I had had dates with other girls during the year. I said, as time went on, I said, you and I can't be together. I looked at visa requirements in Australia. I thought, that ain't going to take me. I looked at her. She doesn't earn any income. She lives with mom and dad. Mom and dad pay for her room, her board, everything, including her clothing, her toothpaste, everything. Maharani's in debt to go to school. She was using the internet over and over when her father came in and had a family meeting and told her and two of her sisters and her brother, "You're using too much data usage, you need to stop it." Her father and mother told her to stop communicating to me over and over. They had problems with, one, my age difference, two, the fact I was divorced. They are very strong Catholic. She called me on a phone that her father paid for and ran up 220 something US or Australian dollars. She was sent away for 2 weeks to babysit for a relative far from Melbourne to pay off that debt. After that, she still made calls, and I said, "You cannot do this." I saw her getting in trouble with her parents more. Her father got so mad he threw a chair across the room, which her older sister caught before it hit Maharani in the face. That I, on my own accord, wrote email after email saying, "I need to let you go. We cannot be together. Your parents are very riled up and they hate my guts. They don't want you on this internet, and I need to go." And this is her response. "No, please don't, please don't, please don't. I can't live without you." I have letter after letter after letter after chat on all of that. So I kept writing. I didn't want to hurt her. I had looked at some options, if there were such a thing, and said, "Nope, that won't work, that won't work, that won't work." Let me tell you what Maharani did say. She said that if I came over there and had somebody to stay with, that she would come over and spend intimate time with me. That Maharani discussed her deepest, darkest, intimate desires. We're not going to get into those. For the woman from Yugoslavia to make a rude comment on Legatus' video about me, she had revealed a lot of personal things about herself and her brother and her mother and her father back in what was known as Yugoslavia. I don't care. But for her and others to get on there and say the kind of things they said about me, I just couldn't believe it. I got a real view of some of the fans, quote unquote, and two of them are still going at it. One of them said, "Oh, I wish you'd come back so we could harass him some more." Let me tell you why one of them was pissed. It was a male. I watched a lot of his writings, his comments, and I thought, what is he saying? And he admitted that through lifestyle choices, he had done some damage to himself. And he attacked and attacked and attacked. And you know why? He sent me his phone number, wanted me to email him. I saw the stuff that he was writing, and I ascertained I don't want to be involved. There are some of my viewers that I did not want to be involved with because I saw little things that said, if something went south between that person and me, I'm going to get harassing phone calls and who knows what. That's why I didn't engage. So my stance now is never engage with your viewers. Don't comment. Don't respond. Don't look. I had to shut down an email. I had to do a lot of things. Maharani was very immature in the long run, and I didn't see it then. Maharani said for how easy it was for me to let go and move on. No, that wasn't the case. That in her 24-year-old mind, she failed to realize that I'm here. That I'm in my world. I'm in my stressful world. I already batted zero with one date in Hong Kong that turned out to be a major mess. Then I watched what her family was doing, including her sisters and her brother. and things that Maharani would admit to me in written form about things that she confessed to her mother. And I said, why are you telling your mother these things that you revealed to me? Do you really think she's going to give you a group hug? You're an adult, and some of those things you need to keep tucked in here, and you just don't discuss those with others. No, it wasn't me trying to hide myself. No. Stuff that she admitted that she struggled with. I said, I wouldn't go to your parents with that. Maharani falsely misrepresented myself, as well as edited things to such a way to make it sound like I was a sensual heretic. Let me tell you, Maharani's extremely sensual. Extremely so. She called me a heretic because we had a discussion one night. She was having her menstruation cycle, and I noticed a pattern. That every time she admitted to me that she was on her period, she would start these debates and get kind of awful. And one of those debates, she said, I don't think you're a Christian because of the things you struggle with. And I said, what? I said, what about you? You're struggling with the same things. Well, I know. I said, what about your parents? Your dad cusses at you when he teaches you to drive and yells at you for hitting a curb and calls you names. You told me that. Do you believe? Let's talk about any of us. If I'm not a Christian and you're not a Christian, then who is? But she was convinced her parents lived so righteously, and yet she complained a lot about her mother, complained a lot about her sisters, both of them, and her brother, and complained a lot about her father. It seems like the relationship between her and her father was not a very good, close one. Father blows up, and he reacts with rage. For Maharani to consort with Legatus because of some petty feelings, and I'm going to call them petty feelings, that were, instead of coming to me and saying, I am hurt by this, can we talk? And I said that when she came out in fine peace. I don't know who you are, but if you've got something against me, you need to tell me first. She claims to be so Christian and claims to be warning everybody about the dangers of Pacific. I laughed. Yeah, I'm dangerous, all right. I'm just a blue-collar working guy that does my job well, and I get on the internet, I express my views, and I'm human as anybody else. And don't kid yourself that every one of my viewers and every one of the people that come in and watch, they've got their own skeletons and their own problems. The thing that made it more fun for people to lynch mob Pacific was that Pacific doesn't walk into the room and says, I'm doing well, how are you? I'm real. And people who are not real don't like that. It also goes a step further. The one who's honest is vulnerable as hell. And when you're vulnerable, the wolves will go right for the belly and go and bite into that soft flesh. I know that. Any psychologist, any pastor, any counselor, any official that works with behavior, troubled minds, if he had Legatus in his office and laid out all this evidence of what Legatus would, I guarantee you he would say, that's messed up and that's not right. You're harassing and bullying somebody who didn't do anything to you at all. You disagreed with his views, and you kept going after him and kept going after him and kept going after him, and you hid your face, and you waited for his channel to disappear. Then you come out with some dollar store sunglasses and a baseball hat that still hides your real identity. And I asked myself over and over, I came that close to flying to Hong Kong, doing a video on the spot. Said, okay, Legatus, you meet me here tomorrow at 3 o'clock and let's have a talk on video so my viewers can see you and I sitting at the same park bench or by the rail by the harbor. Let's do it. And my viewer said, he ain't going to show up. To do what he did was cowardly. to raise his little flag of victory was a joke. I ended my channel for the following reasons. One, I was tired of all the drama. I was tired of all the bickering that was going on. And yes, I was tired of Legatus and Maharani and all this junk going back and forth. I thought, the best thing to do is just shut it down and move on. And many people who've got problems in their own personal life that they've bled all over the internet, we won't mention any names, were quick to jump. Oh, he's such a megalomaniac. He'll be back. He's in love with himself. Gosh. I had to learn the hard way that when you are a public person, you're going to get public insults, whether they're right or wrong. That even people who disagreed with me, and there were many, said what Legatus has done by censoring him and shutting him out, threatening him, is not right. That's a violation of Pacific's free speech. That's right. Legatus wants to turn this into a testosteronic pissing match where he comes out the warlord. And he's not going to stop and not going to stop and not going to stop until after I pull my channel. Then he runs his little victory lap with his little video, to which all the little dark people that were watching every video and going, boo, 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 were saying, yeah, this is awesome. You caught him. I went out of state for a week. I got more hours. I'm working another job right now. I moved on. I've been going to lunch with friends, plural. One of the girls that I dated years ago saw my channel pulled, text messaged me on my break. We called and talked, and we've since had good conversation. She was horrified at what came down. I told her the whole thing about Maharani, Legatus. She goes, "You've got to be kidding me." I said, "No, it's ridiculous." They even said, "Go watch his video." This is the name of it. That even people who said, I think Pacific was off. He had all kinds of problems, but God, why are you harassing him so much? Get off his channel and move on. And I talked about that. People who have a fixation, the Jeffrey Dahmer type, the Jeffrey Dahmer mind, that they see somebody, they focus in on it, and they're going to kill that person and put their parts in the fridge. It's the same mind. And there were others. One that also wanted recognition as his part. We're not going to mention his name because why should I give him any press? A blowhard on the YouTube who still doesn't have as many subscribers as I did, and goes on saying this guy's a nut job, and made a whole video condemning me because I linked the Oregon shooter with the mindset of a gamer. Then you look at what Legatus is doing, and every one of his sock puppet accounts are, first there was ISIS videos, tons of them, which he had fun doing that. He was enjoying all of this. Getting off on it is a more accurate phrase. And I made deductions based on the behavior of this guy making threats and all this, because I'm sorry, but I know a lot of video gamers that are dark souls. This had nothing to do with me posting pictures on Tumblr. Nothing. This had to do with somebody who doesn't like me, doesn't like my views, and he was so addicted to video games that he was going to play it in real life through role modeling or role playing and say, I'm going to get this guy down. I'm going to be the mighty Lord. Really? He made comments to me, your God can't help you. Your God this, your God that. I'm not going to get into that pissing match with you, partner. The difference between me and you is that I have faith in God. That doesn't mean I'm better than everybody else. It means that I have a resource to turn to when I'm at the end of my own resources. It means that I have somebody who loves and cares for me when people don't. It means that no matter how much butt hurt, belly aching I've done about people and situations, it was a forum. Simple as that. If you don't like it, push the red X and move on. Go back to your video games. You got a lot of views onto Pacific I Win. And the only reason why is they were my viewers watching you. And somebody rightly said you can't even stand on your own. You wouldn't get this many views if you did your own thing. That is correct. But you love the internet, and you love video gaming, and you are trying to vicariously live out the reality version of your video gaming. I'm going to win. I always achieve my goals. I'm not even going to touch that. There's a verse for that. Pride goeth before a fall. Keep on bragging. Keep on saying how Lord you are. And the Lord will show you the door in His time and in His way, regardless of what you think about me. The stuff you kept on doing, you'll be held accountable for all of it by the one you say doesn't exist. You go, boy. You go. I have a right to freedom of speech, Legatus, and if you don't like it, get lost. Go find something to do with your life if it's so wonderful. You said I'm living a dream. That's bullshit. Let me say that one more time. That's bullshit. Yes, I'm a Christian. I used the word shit. And I'll tell you why. If you're living the dream, then what's wrong with your mind that you're wasting your time with a YouTube thing like me? Why? Why is that? If I was in finance making the money that you put off that you're making, I'd be seeing Bali, I'd be seeing Thailand, I'd be seeing Taiwan and Taipei. I'd be visiting all of Asia Minor, Asia Major on my time off. And I'd be making videos saying, "Hi, it's me, Ramon Sawaya, and I'm on the deck of a boat." There'd be less talk about controversy, though that would be in there. But I sure as heck wouldn't waste my time on the internet chasing some small fry out there trying to skewer him or her. I'm not even going to do it to Maharani, and I'll tell you why, because I care deeply for her. And though I'm upset at what she did, I could copy and paste everything she sent me, including the pictures of this and the video clip she showed me doing this, and send that out there and put that out there. I could, but I won't. I've never sent pictures of any woman that I was involved with that sent me a topless picture to anybody. I won't do that. And no, I don't have a library of all those. Maharani stuff I have. She's not very wise. My girlfriend and I toyed with the idea of going to Melbourne and showing up at La Trobe, walking into the dean's office and say, "Here, we want to show you something. You recognize this girl? She's one of your students. Let me show you what she's been involved with." I know for a fact that they would call her into the office and there would be a very good chance of disciplinary reactions possibly resulting in being expelled. That once her mother and father knew that she's continued to be on the internet now to harass me and consort with an internet bully, I know for a fact that the parents would order her out of the house. I watched all these comments made back and forth. Maharani lied about things I said. Let me say something to all my viewers, that whenever you live with anybody, you're going to have grinding points. Made a comment here or a comment there that, oh gosh, I got to clean the kitchen. It's a mess. Wow, big freaking deal. Comments are made about me to my face. Right here. We all do it. You rub. But we get along. Maharani and her family, they got issues. I would love to have a talk with mom and dad. But I know that as soon as I talked to them and told them what she was involved with, Dad would do more than throw a chair across the room. I'm not vicious. Did Maharani think about what she did and said? Not at all. I got way off on a rabbit trail, but let's talk about the heretic part of the sensual heretic. I'm very sensual. I've admitted that in my own videos. Am I a seducer of leading people astray, both sexually or theologically? No. When women come on to me and women are interested in me and they're sharing their stuff, their personal, intimate things, and I'm going to do the same. Normal. But let's talk about seducing people theologically. Maharani, when she was having her menstruation time, got into a big argument that I'm not a Christian because if you sin, you must not be saved. And I went through the scriptures and I said, if that is true, Maharani, then nobody's going to heaven. We talked for hours. I got so exasperated that I hung up on her. I said, this is ridiculous. You are being unreasonable. She apologized a couple days later and said, forgive me, I'm sorry. I said, do you believe I'm not a Christian? No, I believe you are. Why now? Why did you change your mind? Her comment to me, you made good points. That if we can lose our salvation by sinning, then nobody's going to get there. I said, bingo. Because the Bible talks about profanity, talks about impure thoughts, talks about lying. Let's talk about Maharani. While she was putting out her junk through the Fine Peace Forum and consorting with Legatus, she lied. And I watched it all play out right on Legatus' channel. And all of a sudden, my angst towards Legatus suddenly just went shoom and dropped. I'm like, that's... And he said it. She's the one that's behind this. So you single-handedly are responsible for this, Maharani, and I agree. Maharani threw coal on Legatus' fire and fed him one briquette after another so that the flame burned hot. No brainer there. I wonder what Maharani told him. I wonder what she didn't tell him. Too bad Legatus couldn't get on the phone and talk to me, and I'd be more than happy to say, now let me tell you the other side of what she said and did that you don't know. Maharani did a very unwise thing. She had written me long before Legatus came on my video scene, telling me how she hated atheists because they always left her nasty, horrible comments, and she had to change her YouTube ID. So she was good at that. She changed IDs quite a few times. She couldn't stand atheists. That was her words to me. I have friends that are atheists. I don't like it when atheists do the kind of stuff that some of them were doing on my channel, just leaving foul comments and hateful things instead of just saying, Pacific, I don't agree with you on this point, and here's why. There was none of that from Legatus. There was none of that. Legatus didn't take the time to say, don't you think it's a double standard? You call yourself a Christian and you got pictures out there, and I would have said, you're right. I shouldn't have done that. Simple. But he wasn't satisfied with that. He went into harassment and cyberbullying mode. YouTube has just been putting out videos saying that they are going to start clamping down on that. We'll see. But so that my viewers know, I'm done with the comments. It dawned on me that people like the soap opera after the video. The first few videos I uploaded on here, I simply put a piece of yellow paper over the thing like that. But I've had enough. This is the only video I'm going to do commenting on any of that stuff. Because this is all that needs to be said. I wonder if Legatus has the wherewithal when I do show up in Hong Kong, and by the way, there will be a when, very soon. Would he meet with me and sit down and talk to me on the video forum? So that all these people, both sides of the fence, could see that. I'd love that. Would he do it? I don't know. I don't respect a man who makes threats, makes docs, makes lies and allegations, and takes snippets of past videos, fires me up, gets at my goat, makes threats, does stuff that involves the house here. Oh, yeah. And then he brags on his channel, which was really dumb, that he posted a Craigslist ad and sent people to the house. I couldn't believe that he admitted that. He did. And if you don't think that that wasn't documented with the locals and the authorities here, you better guess again. He says, I hope your son and your ex-wife, and he mentions them by name, are doing well. Really? You're a liar, buddy. You put their names on gravestones in a video. You really cared about them, didn't you? Didn't you? For somebody who's in finance, and what you don't realize is I still have friends that are not Asian that are in finance. In Hong Kong, I walked the dogs for them. And you know what? They don't do the stuff you're doing. When they get their time off, they're off to Bali. They're off to Bangkok. Husband and wives. You also said a comment that was way over the top. Buying him a laptop isn't going to solve the problems, my son. I never said that. You haven't told us whether you have a girlfriend or a boyfriend. If you have kids, I'm going to say I don't believe you have any. All the accusations you made on your ED page against me about faggotry, I believe that you are guilty of that. I believe that that is your preference. Because I learned something a long time ago. People that spend a lot of time talking about and making these allegations, faggotry, homosexual, BFing people. I'm like, boy, he sure seems to talk about that a lot. Because you're most likely participating in that yourself. Are you angry because I said something that offends you? You don't have to answer me because you're not going to be able to. What really bothers me is you set yourself up as some big shot on the internet, making threats, making all kinds of threats, doing unethical as well as illegal, as well as immoral, by definition of law, forget God's commands and God's word. You don't agree with that, but you will be held accountable to him for that. That's on you, buddy. But you kept coming after me as if though you're some moral arbitrator of the internet that said when he posted the pictures on Tumblr, that was just too much. Oh, so that means that the end justifies the means. Typical atheist belief system. Survival of the so-called fittest. The problem is you're not the fittest. You wait until my channel comes down, and he comes strolling out there with the big cheesy glasses and go, ha ha! Really? I believe you were bullied once, twice, many times as a young person. I don't believe you have a girlfriend. I don't believe you have children. The comment was made to me by some of the pictures that others had seen of you in the Philippines, that you might be doing little kids. That's another reason you make those kinds of accusations to me. Pacific doesn't do little kids. Does not, has not, will not. That everybody that was against me made all these comments and I thought I was so up there. You gotta be kidding me. I don't own a house. I got a 20-year-old truck I'm constantly pouring money into. I work hard. I try to get along with people, and I comment on a society that's deteriorating. And I even commented on myself. And you had a problem with that. Doesn't make sense to me. And what did I say on my videos that got your go? That you and your buddy, who's got his blowhard channel out there, a legend in his own mind, yeah, he links the gamers with the Oregon shooting. What a effing stupid. All he can sue is effing loser, call me names. This is a man? This is a man who says, hey, Pacific, I play video games. I don't do that. Can we talk? No. Unbelievable. And you, Legatus, you call yourself a man? You rise as the victor after I took my channel down? And I loved reading the comments that the people in the house made me take it down. They did not. He asked, how come you're not on the internet? I said, I took my channel down. Why? I told him everything. He chuckled and he says, so you got a bunch of people talking tough on the internet, huh? I said, yeah. I said, and the guy's from Hong Kong or lives over there. Well, it doesn't seem to me you should censor yourself because of that. And I said, but they're making accusations and they're making problems. And they're posting the address of this house. Legatus, if you're going to do the kinds of things that could possibly bring harm to elderly people, what does that say about you? If you're making threats, which you were, and making direct gravestone with my son's full name on it, does that make you a man? And then you come in there and say, I hope your son and your ex-wife are doing okay? What part of the word hypocrite do you not understand? All this because I had a forum. All this because I was no threat to you. Hadn't done anything to you. I just simply spoke my beliefs on stuff. If you think that I'm such a messed up individual, why did you spend so much time on this? Because you are disturbed. Pure and simple. You're not doing as well as you come off. The glasses and the hat show that. I don't get it. You couldn't show your face? And I don't believe that when I do go to Hong Kong that you'll meet me. You live in the underworld. You're safe there. The Bible talks about that the sins that you do, that any of us do, will be shouted from the rooftops. I was pretty dang transparent on YouTube about my sins. You think that the people involved in my life don't know that? You think that everybody's going to be like, no, Pacific's not in the business of fooling people. But let's go back to Maharani. It was very disturbing to watch this unfold and watch Maharani making comment after comment. It's like, oh, look at Scared Rabbit is now, I'm not find peace, it's a he, blah, blah, blah. And then Maharani, you're awesome. You make a video showing find peace, and you move it and show your face in the halls of Latrobe. We got that video. I wonder what the dean will have to say when he sees that and sees the connection between you and death threats to my minor son. You know, that stuff, Maharani, is not cool. And I will tell you to your face, you are wrong about eternal security. Because if your belief that is rooted in your Catholicism, you know, that you got to earn your way out of purgatory and all that, if that's really true, no one will be in heaven. For it is by grace that you are saved, this not of works, lest any man should boast. That covers it right there. That Pacific, that nobody can do these acts and attain God's favor. If that was what we could do, then there's no need for Christ to die and shed his blood. Pointless. And the whole of Christianity crumbles to the ground because Christ died in vain. But that's what religion teaches. You climb this ladder one rung at a time and you might get up there. That's not right. This isn't about winning, Legatus. What it is about now for me is that I've had enough. You were effective for a while. You are no more. You need to check your own ego, sir, and you need to look deep into yourself and ask yourself why you're obsessed with winning. If he ever brings his channel back, I will burn his skin. Well, I didn't bring my channel back, so booyah. We're Ramon Suea now, so you want to get into semantics? I'll get into semantics. But things are going to be different now. You're going to see tons of videos. You're not going to see this. I'm going to let this stand for a long time and just let it sit here. I don't have to make another video. I showed myself that. But if I want to, I will. It's called freedom. I think it's very interesting that you don't put your address. You don't give your first, last, and middle name, which you love to say. Michael McGinty Nelson. You love doing that. You're disturbed, buddy. You're not well. You're living a dream. Your dream is to inflict pain and suffering on people. Because that's the video game world that you live in. And for your buddy on his other forum to call me the F word and all his vulgar, tough talk and language proves and verifies over and over that when I said what I said about the video gaming community that's really into that there's something wrong. If you've got a problem with that, move on. Go drown yourself in your little role-playing video game world and cut off some more heads. Grab some breasts of some women while you're machine gunning them down with your machine gun through your TV set. Have fun. I had a forum. I talked about issues. You don't agree with my opinion? Give me an intelligent response. You sit there and say that my God doesn't exist, and you respond in a fashion that is consistent with everything I've said about evolutionists resorting to caveman mentalities. You're going to do all this underworld crap. Posting addresses and videos of me with a chain going up my ass. Calling them anal beads. I didn't even know what they were until I started dating the gal. I said, you kidding me? So they stick these up their butt and go, you got to be kidding me. How did you know that, Legatus? Is that what you do? It's funny. You seem to be well versed in all the butt stuff. Not me. No, I like women too much, partner. Legatus, you cannot, as an atheist, if I was in charge of government and I was saying no atheist has the right to freedom of speech, boy, you wouldn't go for that, would you? Nor should you. But you've tried to censor me. You've threatened me. You've told me that if I come back, you're going to shut me down and you're going to do it all over again. Thank you for producing tons of evidence that I can hand somebody when it's time. So I'm asking you now, go find something else to do and leave me alone. I am a man, and if I have to go to Hong Kong to do a video from the same exact damn spot that you did it from and challenge you to come down and meet me face to face and do a video, I will. Watch me. The bullshit that you've done on the internet is bullshit. It's braggadocio bullshit. I've had it. You had your little day in the sun, and even people who disagree with me took you to task and said, They called you psycho. They said you got issues, that you got problems, that you're censoring free speech. Who the hell do you think you are, boy? You ain't going to show up face to face with me, you little frickin' chicken. You got to be kidding me. Yeah, you succeeded in scaring other fans to drop their channels and run. I will tell you something, buddy. If I have to go to 60 Minutes or 2020 or Dateline and say, look, you need to do a story on this, whether you agree with my views or not, you need to know what this clown has been doing, I'll do it. You have no right to censor anybody. If you're in finance and you're supposedly the big cheese down there, what the hell are you doing attacking me on YouTube? I think you're a liar. I think you're a poser. And I think you're full of it. And then you threaten to turn on Maharani and Skinner, showing yourself the man you are. You're going to come after a girl. Wow. When I come back swinging, buddy. And I'm back. Don't you threaten me. Don't you make your comments to me anymore. Comments on all videos are disabled, and I'm not looking in the message box anymore. I've disabled them too. You can send all you want, buddy. Gone. I don't do the Google pages. No one's going to be able to write me and tell me, oh, did you know what he said? I don't give a crap. You go ahead and diarrhea all over the internet. If I was you and I was making the big money in finance, I'd go explore some countries, buddy. And I'd get off of this little fixation of yours. Why don't you start making some videos of the places you're going to? Show some lagoons and some cool islands. Show us. Show us how successful you are. Quit living vicariously between little, Minecraft pictures of retired and dead warlords I mean, come on, dude. I'm sorry that you got bullied and harassed when you were a kid, and this is the world you've decided to hide into, but don't fuck with me. Don't waste your time. Because I am fighting Irish. And I will lay low for a while. And I'll regroup, and I'll regather. And I don't need all my fans, or viewers, or an army behind me. You got that? Two things you need to know, Legatus. I am a man. You are not the Constitution. You are not the police. You are not God. And you're not a lord. You're a boy that hasn't quite attained to manhood. You've resorted to teenage bullshit tactics on the internet. You won. Really? I, on my own accord, dumped my channel. I had people angry. Why? I didn't even get to see all those videos. Why didn't you save them? I don't want them anymore. Why? Because I tried to hide something, and then you post them. Why? How is that supposed to hurt me, you posting the videos of me? I'm not understanding that. There's something that's not connecting in the neurotransmitters in your brain, dude. People were uploading stuff left and right, what little they had. And I thought, this is interesting. That the Titanic sank, and a few pieces of furniture and relics from the wreck were floating around, and the scavengers went and picked them up quick, but the ship went down and took everything with it. I love it. And sadly, a few people were hanging on to the stern when it went down. Megalomaniac? No, I have confidence. I like to talk. I like to communicate. Legatus, for decency's sake, for intellectual sake, for atheist's sake, go find something more valiant to pursue. Don't waste your time with me. Don't listen to me. Don't look at me. Don't talk to me. Don't think about me. If you're living the dream, then live it. Make some videos showing us where you go so I can say, hey, that's cool. How much did it cost to go there? Do something, Legatus, please. You unseated me because of pictures on Tumblr. I wonder how many guys on the internet have looked at topless women and shoved some pictures in their personal stash in their computer. Probably a lot. I've talked to many guys that said they downloaded pictures. Tons of them. And there's also viewers of mine that have their own Tumblr accounts. Did you know that? But yes, the reason that this got more mileage out of it is because Pacific. Pacific talks about Christianity, and Christianity says it's wrong to do that, and look what he's doing! Oh, let's dethrone him and decapitate him! Pull out the swords. Ha. One just needs to stand back and regroup and go, really? Maharani, a word to you. You failed to tell the viewing audience watching this volleyball game of them lofting the ball back and forth over the net. You failed to tell everybody what you did to me. And all the letters and emails and chats and things you used to say to me on the phone. You left all that out. And you tried to paint a picture that I was some seductive heretic. Let me remind my viewers that the first series of letters that we engaged in back and forth through the email were as follows. Maharani had admitted that she had watched French films in class that the art teacher played for the students. When she told me the nature of those films, that there was 2 guys and 1 girl, or 2 girls and 1 guy, and the guys were doing it with the guys, and I'm going to stop right there. Because there were things that she admitted to me about those movies that were of a very personal nature, of things that she liked. And my first response was, why is the art teacher in public school playing this stuff? Did you ever tell your mother? No. Maharani is not innocent at all, folks. I've got tons of emails and crap to prove it. Don't try to ask me to show it to you, because I'm not going to. But that is the facts. I wasn't scared by what she was doing. I kept thinking, who the hell is Fine Peace? And I thought it was a man. And then Legatus wrote me and said, it's not a man, it's a woman. So I started thinking, is that Maharani's sister who hates me? Maharani's sister hates me because I had never done anything to her. Mom got mad at Maharani for talking to such an older gentleman. And in her Catholic, and you want to talk about judgment, the family's very judgmental of people that are not Catholics. Maharani made that known to me. Crystal clear. Maharani's mother told her, you cannot marry evangelical. You cannot. Holding true to Catholic dogma and form, you don't date somebody who's not a Catholic. In fact, her mother had even said, I'd rather you date a Buddhist than him. Buddhism and Catholicism are capiche? We had a lot of conversations, that young lady and I, and she's not innocent at all. No freaking way. And I finally decided I need to come out and say that. I hemmed and I hawed, and I thought, let it go. I thought, no, we need to come back one more time. And we need to talk. I have to. Am I doing this to seek to justify myself? No. Not at all. When we talk about what has happened on here, I'm stating the facts. Not putting my opinion into this, I'm stating the facts. Maharani got so angry that night when we were talking about this, lose your salvation, and I tried to open the scriptures and tell her this is what the Bible says. That if we can lose our salvation, then what is the point of Christ's death? Because some have a belief that when you become a Christian, you better never sin again. Well, then wouldn't it mean that your salvation then is dependent on works? And I simply argued from intellect and objective reasoning. Maharani has enough sins in her own life that if that doctrine of hers is true, she's going to hell. Because you can't suddenly live like the devil for 20 years of your life, 24, and then suddenly become righteous. That's not how that works. And yet that's the fallacy of the way these people think. Well, no, I'm not doing right, but I could choose to do right. Wait a minute. So you think by suddenly, it's like a guy eating all this junk food for 20 years, and then he's going to, he eats like a pig all week and eats junk food, and then on Friday he decides to have a non-GMO organic meal and think that that's going to cover it. No. I've been very open about discussion about sin, and that when we sin and we have our habits, that when we get saved, that just because we get saved and born again doesn't mean that we suddenly change and stop all that stuff. More often than not, it continues to be the bane of our existence. And everybody struggles different. Some struggle with alcoholism, some struggle with pornography, some struggle with lust, and some struggle with greed, and some struggle with gossip and stealing and who knows what. But when Maharani called me a seductive heretic, I was very angry. Not because it was true, but because I thought she's not telling the whole story at all. She's not telling the truth. She's not telling the kind of conversations that she initiated and had and emails that she wrote me. She's not doing that. Every human being, when they recount a story, more often than not, is guilty of editing. They leave out the parts that might shed some bad light on themselves while painting a picture to the audience they're talking to really make the audience go, yep, that one's bad, that one's bad, that one right there. I've done it. But as I've gotten older, I said, you got to lay out the facts. All of us want somebody to take our side, do we not? All of us. We're human. We want to be validated, vindicated. We want everybody to agree with us that hurt what they did. But it takes a lot of strength to say, you know what, regardless of what other people think, I need to ask myself at the end of the day, did I do the right thing or did I do the wrong thing? And if I did the wrong thing, I go to God and the person that I did the wrong thing to and say, you know what, I screwed up. I'm sorry. I'm asking your forgiveness. But for Maharani to consort with Legatus, an atheist, and then turn around in the comments under Find Peace, pretending to be somebody else, say he's an atheist, he hates God, all this. I'm watching this laughing. And then Maharani's butthurt site on her blog calling me a bastard American. I was like, wow. I never called her anything like that. Maharani was picked on and bullied and harassed most of her life. And I felt very bad for her. I could relate to that. I was tender towards her. I was kind to her. I said, man, if I was there when those tradies were yelling stuff out the window, I'd have a problem keeping my testosterone. I'd say, hey, you got a problem, buddy? Yeah, they would have stopped the van, got out, and I would have probably had the crap beat out of me by a 6-foot Aussie. I don't like that. You don't talk to a girl like that. But watching what Maharani did was nothing short of gross immaturity and then lying in Christian name, calling herself a Christian, calling me a heretic, lying to all the viewers out there, I'm not Find Peace. And Legatus called her out and said, that Vimeo you made, it's date stamped. I'm going to get you if you don't stop it. And when he said that, all of a sudden Maharani disappears from the comment scene. And I'm like, don't fail to notice that, Pacific. And everybody contacted me and said, did you see what's going on? I didn't even know it because I stayed away from it for a few days at first. And even my girlfriend says, you need to read these comments. Look at this stuff. Now all the guilty parties are showing up. She made a comment about 2 viewers that were both on every video I put out. One that lives in Washington, and I believe the other one's in Indiana or somewhere. Always making comments and taking shots at me, and then getting on other channels saying, Pacific this, Pacific that, and then getting on my channel saying, we love you. Really? And her comment about those 2 people was as follows. These guys don't have a life. You're gone, and they're still going on and on and on. One of them said, oh, Pacific, you can't do this. Please come back. And then a day later says, I want him to come back so I can harass him some more. Not one person who was attacking me bothered to look at that and said, wow, that's rude. You're calling yourself a Christian. You want to harass this guy? Torment him? It was more telling to stand back for a while and watch all this unfold and see Maharani was the guilty one. That was very interesting. Maharani, shame on you. If you're going to do that, could you have at least told the truth about what you did? I did not put a gun to your head and said, hey, send me those pictures. I did not do that. Did not. You on your own offered to send me those. You sent me video clips on Skype of yourself. Not when we were talking, but I'd open up my Skype the next day and you got a video where you're doing this. You did that. You sent me email upon email in the hundreds, engaging in and initiating an illicit conversation. Did you tell Legatus that? Or did you say that I made you do this? What did you tell him? I'm sure you didn't show him your emails, did you? I'm sure of it. There's so much more I'd like to say to the viewers watching this channel that Maharani said and did. They could fill numerous books. Stuff that she wanted to envision me doing with others. Stuff that she got aroused by at thoughts of me doing the woman in Yugoslavia. True story. That the woman in Yugoslavia wrote me and told me, I wish you could marry me and Maharani. And that woman in Yugoslavia, or what was known as Yugoslavia, said, if I came to the U.S., would you marry me? And I said, yeah, I mean, I'd sure get to know you. She boo-hooed to me about all the crappy men over there in Slovenia. She's beautiful. And I said, man, you're gorgeous. So she knew I was talking to Maharani, and then she's pulling on my feelings. And both of them, I connected them by email for them to write each other. Yeah, there's a lot that the viewers don't even know. That I had a life outside of YouTube because they met me through YouTube that was underground. I thought that both of these women could be trusted. I said, you'd be comfortable me marrying Maharani and you? With the same, well, yeah, we could live in the Middle East and I would have no problem if we were both your wives. True story. And that person from Slovenia left a pretty shitty comment. I stopped talking to her because she would tell me constantly she was sending topless pictures of herself to other men, others, and I did. I asked her for one. I said, man, can I have one? Oh, I don't want to cause you to stumble in your Christian walk. But mind you, she was still sending them out to other people. Then she started dating a Muslim guy, and I said, I would be very careful about that. Well, he's nicer to me than any of the Christian men are. I said, you said you could get to the U.S. Why don't you come over here and let's see if we can find out about each other? No. So then, because of her avowed loyalty to this Muslim, I said, well, then there's really no reason for us to be writing and corresponding anymore, right? And I dropped off the scene. I did, not her. I did. I stopped writing, Skyping. I blocked her at Skype, and I didn't email her anymore. And I told Maharani that. Maharani then told me that she didn't trust this woman because she said, you know, she was pulling on your heart while I was interested in you, and that really bothers me. Yeah, this goes way deeper than Legatus or any of the viewers know. There. I've had my day in the sun. There's nothing else to discuss about this. There's no further I'm going to go with this. It's done. It's done. I want to say one more thought on Maharani. That Maharani never once contacted me and said, I'm very upset that you're dating this black woman. And that was last spring. She never told me any of that. She never told me that she was hurt. She disappears for 2 weeks, shows up at Fine Peace, and my channel was getting blow after blow after blow between her and Legatus and the plethora of simmering malcontents that were sitting there waiting for an opportunity to throw stone after stone at me. I don't need to mention their names. They're not worthy of mentioning. So what did I learn from this? Try not to fixate too much on one thing. I learned that don't engage with the viewers. Rock stars don't. They go up, perform, they got thousands of people. Oh yeah, he is God, he is Lord. Let them. They came up with the Ramon Soea channel. I like the name. I'm done with Pacific. I'm tired of it. I'm done with it. And I thought, you know what? First, I was just going to go under the radar with yellow paper. And I thought, no. No more. We're not going to hide. Not going to do it. You'll see the first 3 videos. Nothing to see. And I started thinking, I don't need to show my face. But I thought, but they'll all know my voice once they find out about it. I thought, you know. And then to watch the comments about my glasses, my chains, my hair, the closet, all the crap. And I thought, these people aren't listening to the content of the videos anymore. They're malcontents. They're unemployed. And they're sitting around bullshitting. Oh, let's dog this guy. Let's just pick on him. You know, it's kind of like this little sheep that's out there. And there's all these wolves. And they won't just come out and kill it. To bite its nose and bite it on the ass and take a bite out of its leg and suffer and torment the poor little thing. And then they're all back there. And that's what you see with these guys. That none of these viewers who claim to be Christian have any care for me, any love for me whatsoever. They're malicious, they're vicious little wolves. Hateful, without peace in their lives, without any solidness within themselves or foundation to rest upon. And they come after a guy who's like me. So I learned. No more discussing my personal business on the internet. Any of it. Now we're going to talk about subjects and only subjects. And I'm not going to go on about atheists and car drivers. We'll definitely talk about women and American women and women in the world because that's changing rapidly. And I've got lots of things to say about that. We're not going to be so much an expositor of the Bible on here, though that will be in and out of it. But I want to talk about the things that I was good at. The things that people really clamored for. My girlfriend said, look at the things that people really got excited about and stick with those. But I'm done with personalizing it. Too much craziness out there. So what if I did my video from a roller coaster car or from the highest star? Who cares if I do it in a closet or a submarine? Who cares if I did it from my pickup truck or from Hong Kong and Victoria Harbor on the Kowloon side? Who cares? If people are interested in the content of what I have to say, they can put me on an MP3 and go on about their business. Mature people do that. Immature people comment on the looks, the attire, the stuff. How petty. How immature and stupid and pointless. And that alone should have told me you're dealing with children on the internet. Sad. That feels much better to just come out and lay it out there. I will never have an interest in Maharani again. That's gone. That, when I saw what unfolded, I was just horrified. Wow. I was nice to her. I tried to encourage her. I tried to be mature as the relationship progressed and things got worse and worse at home, that you got to find a man in your country. You need to focus on your studies. Your grades are bad, folks. She's struggling in classes. That's what she told me in many emails. She told me her parents want her to get graduated so that she can earn enough to take care of them. I'm not going to unpack any of that. And I said, your parents are getting upset. You said that you can't dysfunction at the thought of not having me in your life. And I said, that alone is telling me that I need to cut this. And I tried, viewers, to cut it. 6-7 months prior. She wouldn't let me. Message upon message after Skype. I'd get text messages from Australia bombing my phone. True story. Please don't go. Please don't go. This is somebody who's telling everybody I'm a seductive heretic. This is a woman who right up to the end begged and begged and begged and begged and begged and begged and begged for me not to stop writing her, not to stop keeping in contact. I even admitted to her, you know what, there's other men you could find that have never been married, that don't have some of the struggles I have, because I've got quite a few more years and miles over you. No, I want you. There's no man like you. On and on and on and on and on and on. She begged and pleaded and begged and pleaded. Even with my own admissions of my own dark stuff. Oh my gosh. Maharani, you lied. That's not a good Christian quality, to lie. I never lied to you. Ever. Do not, ever get on the internet and make public scene of me while keeping all of your side out of this and editing that out and not being honest. What I can say is, from a biblical basis, if you think that God is impressed with that, I got some bad news for you, partner. You're going to be in for a rude awakening when you stand before him. Because he's going to look you right in the eye and say, you were involved in gossip. You were involved in throwing this guy under the bus because he told you he had to move on with his life, didn't like seeing what was happening with you on the home front, and admitted to you that I can't do this online relationship. I need a person in the flesh that I can hug and hold hands with and go see a flick with, go walk with, go talk. You're overseas. And your words to me in letter after letter, I know, I understand. I wouldn't blame you if you found somebody there to date. Are you going to get mad? No. She did. But more with the last one. The black girl that I dated last spring. I'm like, what now? She would sit in her bedroom crying. Her mother came in and saw her. And her mother said, what is going on? And her mother said, you are obsessed with this guy. You need to go to counseling. And they tried to get her off the internet, and they couldn't do it. She'd do it at the university. She would get off and go to university. I'd get home from work, and she'd be online. Hi, are you there? How easy I got over her. I had private conversations with people right up until the end saying, I wish I could have her. But I realize I can't. And I'm struggling because I get off work. I have nobody but an internet connection, and this isn't going to work. And it's stupid to keep this going and say how easy I got over it. It was an online relationship. It's not like I came to Australia for 6 months and we made mad, passionate love and formed this physical bond where, whoa, we had an online relationship and discussed some pretty heavy stuff. But man, Maharani, you took this way, way out of context and way too far. And in your little childish way, you you tried right there with Legatus to act like you were innocent and you didn't support what he did, and yet you were consorting with him all along. No wonder things got out of hand. You are responsible, Maharani. I believe that with all my heart. Legatus, I'm done with you. I don't want to talk about you. I don't want to mention you. I hope that you can find something in your life that's noble, that's fruitful, that will cause good. Man, if you're living the dream, go see the rest of Asia, buddy, and make some videos showing that. I'll thumbs up them. But I think it's time for you to just leave Pacific alone, because Pacific is gone now. I'm here, but the whole Pacific thing is over. This channel is going to be different when and if I continue. And I might make one tomorrow, and I might not for 6 months. I don't know. It depends on my mood. When I set up this channel, I didn't even contact but 3 fans of mine. And I said, don't tell the other fans. I want to start this thing from the ground up with a whole new base. I did it once. We can do it again. But I learned. Don't be so personal. I'm not calling out IDs. I did with this because I needed to. Maharani and Legatus. I had to respond to that. Had to. I'm not calling out by ID all the other foolish, crazy stuff that I saw going on your channel, Legatus, with all the people commenting. I just thought, you gotta be kidding me. None of them, a lot of them didn't make videos. They just commented. The comments from the peanut gallery, and I just thought, wow. Hateful, rude, malicious people that just, there's nothing going on in their life. I was going to bring my girlfriend right on. We were going to do videos when I went to go see her. And I made the decision saying, you know what, I don't want you out there. I don't need these clowns coming after you. She's gorgeous, by the way. She's very good looking. But I decided, no, we're not going to bring you into this arena. And after much hemming and hawing and deciding, and I thought, you know what? I'm just going to come back and lay it out like it is. That's it. That's all I can do. For people to get revenge, to bully, cyberbully, especially when this person has done nothing to that individual at all that has caused that person's harm in any way, that's not right. People that bully have been bullied, and that's why they do it. They're not going to meet you face to face, like the 40s, duke it out the old-fashioned way. They're not going to do that. They're going to resort to sleazeball, lowball, dirty pool tactics. That's the only way they can thrive. To have a debate and say, hey, Pacific, I've been watching your channel. I saw this, and I want to talk to you about it because I disagree with you, and here's why. There was none of that with Legatus. There was none of that with Maharani. Maharani didn't come to me and said, you know, I'm hurt. Maharani didn't even attempt to talk to me and to make any conciliatory. If all this junk was in her, she sure never told me that. I have up to her last letter and all the other junk. And it shocks me that her last letter, exactly 2 weeks after that, Find Peace shows up. And I wrote her, are you okay? I'm worried about you. I love you. Yes. That's what I sent her. One can only imagine what she said or did with Legatus. I have no idea. It doesn't matter anymore. I just needed to speak. That's it. Pacific Ocean superliner has sank beneath the waves. I deliberately opened all the sea cocks down in the engine room and let her sink like a stone. It needed to be done. There was too much bickering. There was too much crap. It was time to call it an end. This is Ramon Sawaya. I like that name. And that is where I'm at. So, this is Ramon. This is what I have to say about the matter. There's nothing else that needs to be said. It's just YouTube. That's all it is. At the end of the day, it's a social media platform. Thoughts, ideas, some bizarre, some sane, some way out there, some ridiculous, some humorous, some disgusting. Not all by me, of course. There's everybody on YouTube. So, you decide what you want to do with your life. If you don't like the views that I had in the past, move on. If you don't like me or my glasses or the closet that I'm sitting in, go away. For those that want to hear discourse and commentary, stay. Pacific is gone. My focus on Asia, it's gone. I live in America. I work in America. And I will die in America. So, I hope this helps everybody have a little better understanding of things. I hope that everybody involved in what used to be the great ocean liner will do some personal soul searching, as I have done, and ask themselves if they've done everything that they should have done. Right. Whether you're an atheist, or whether you're a Christian, ask yourself, how is this making you a better person, a stronger person? How is this helping society and humanity? We all need to do that. We all need to check ourselves all the time. God still sees fit to keep Pacific alive and healthy. So here I am. But not as Pacific. This is Ramon Sawaya. Get used to that name. I feel much better having aired this. And I approve of this message.